This book has everything. It's got cheating, baby mama drama, someone ends up in a coma. It has so many things. But the friendship is what really like holds these people together. Welcome back to Paperback Times. My name is Amber, and today we're going to be talking about Keep It Cute by Yasmeen. So she reached out to me one day on IG and offered for me to read her book. There is a second book to this. It's called Keep It Between Us. It dropped on the 24th of this month, and so I have it. I just haven't read it yet, but it's in my TBR, so I can't wait to pick up where they left off. When I talked to the author, she said that it is 3 years later from Keep It Cute, so 3 years in the future. So the book follows three women who are turning all 29, going into their 30s. There's Jace, there's Tiana, and then there's Lauren-Giselle. And it talks about their relationships, between their interpersonal relationships with their significant others, if you will. And then it also talks about their personal growth as well. And it's set in Atlanta, so that was also really cool. There's a lot of different they were bringing up Boogaloo and Compound and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different Atlanta spots. So I thought that was really dope as well. So we're going to dive into each individual character and kind of their storylines. And so this is going to be the spoiler part of it. So if you don't want any spoilers, I would actually, if you don't want any spoilers, just watch this on TikTok and TikTok and Instagram. That one's going to be spoiler free. All right, so we're going to start with Jace. All right, so Jace is an English teacher. She is currently, in the beginning of the book, she's dating a gentleman named Shane, and her and Shane are dating, and they break up, and it kind of comes out of nowhere for her. And so we later find out that Shane, 2 months later after the breakup, is now engaged. So it's assumed that he's been cheating this whole time. And so now, Jace is crushed. And so she starts she meets these two guys, Jordan and what's the other guy's name? Cameron. So she meets Jordan and Cameron, and she's hanging out with them, dating them at the same time, and they're both wanting to get serious with her. And she's like, I haven't really been single in a minute, so I'm kind of just feeling it out. I'm not really ready to settle down. And so she starts dating both of them, and now she can't really she's lying to one, lying to the other to kind of keep the peace. And then she ends up choosing Jordan. I can't remember exactly why she chose Jordan, but she chose him, and she ends up in a relationship with him and breaks Cameron's heart because Cameron was really into her. He was ready for her to meet his family, and he was ready to take the next step and be in a relationship with her and commit to her. And she was like, I want Jordan instead. And so she ends up dating Jordan, and they're, rocking for a little bit. And then she finds out that Jordan got a baby on the way by a girl that they run into. Oh, no. What ends up happening is one of her students. That's what it is. So one of her students in high school sees Jordan at a restaurant with another woman. And so the student comes back and say, hey, I just kind of wanted to put something on your radar. I think your man is cheating on you. And she has a video to show. So she's like, I don't think I know. And so she shows her the video, and, Jace is so embarrassed, her student came to talk to her about this. And so she confronts him, and he's like, no, he's trying to make it all not seem what it is. And then she goes to a game, and then the girl's there as well. And so she's like, I got a baby on the way. And she's like, you got a baby on the way? And it's just a whole mess. And so the book finally ends, I think, with her breaking up with Jordan, and she runs back into Cameron, and we don't know where that's going to end up. But yeah, I think her growth is kind of cool because for someone who has been in a relationship for a long time, and you're kind of going back to being single for the first time, it can be really scary. And trying to date casually when you like people, when you like to see people that you're dating a lot, it can get kind of messy. I'm guilty of that, dating different people at the same time and liking them a whole lot and doing relationship things. We shouldn't be doing relationship things, but you're not really ready for commitment. It's just, but we live and learn and we grow. That's old me. I'm different. So yeah, and then so I'm really interested to see where the next 3 years puts her at. She get back with Cameron? Do they make it work? Does she leave Cameron alone? Does she still wanted to be single? So yeah, and then yeah, that was Jace. Now we're just gonna talk about Lauren-Giselle. All right, so Lauren-Giselle, she's an IG model. You know, she bad. She got, you know, sponsorships and all that. She's currently dating. The book starts off with her dating Deshaun. And Deshaun, I think, is a football player. And one day she's hanging out with Deshaun and he got some booger sugar. He's doing a little line or whatever. And she's like, you know what? I can do the soft stuff, you know, a little bit of green, a little bit of weed, you know, no, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's crazy. So she breaks up with him. And, you know, but her thing is just like, she's very vain and very like into herself. At least that's what her persona is online, right? And then she ends up talking to a guy. What's that guy's name? The men in here, I don't ever remember their names. His name is Trevor. And so she later starts dating Trevor. Oh, no. So she goes on a date with Trevor. And like Trevor's like talking to her, like, what are your goals? What are your like aspirations? Trying to like get really deep with her. He was like, he's a basketball player, I think, but he's like more than that. I think he wanted to be a surgeon at one point. He was in school. He wants to go back to school and kind of like he's more than just basketball. He's more than just what his sport is and what his job is. And so they're on a date and he's trying to like make deep conversations with her. And she's just like, yeah, I mean, I don't really have any goals. I don't really know. And she just kind of doesn't seem, she's kind of like go with the flow. And he seems like he wants someone who is like more, who knows more about what they want to do, has more drive and more ambition. And so they go on, they leave the date or whatever. And she's like, I haven't heard from him in a minute. And then she reached out to him. She's like, hey, you know, we were dating, like we went on a date. Like he was like, I don't think this is the right fit. And she was like, okay, so, you know, all right, I guess. And he was like, you just didn't really give me anything to go off of. I didn't really get to know you. And then we get into like her backstory. And her backstory is that her mom was a drug addict and passed away from an overdose. And her dad wasn't ever really around, so she was raised by her grandmother up in New York. She, you know, expresses that to him and they talk about like she like talks about these things that she's never like really like divulged to people, right? And so like she's showing him that she has like a little bit more depth to her and there's more to who she is. And so they go on a second date and now they're vibing or whatever and they're dating, everything's starting to go well, you know, and then her grandma gets sick and so she has to go up to not North Carolina. She has to go up to New York and go take care of her grandmother and he goes with her and kind of like he's just kind of like her rocking this whole kind of ordeal. And so like that's kind of like where we end off with Lauren-Giselle, you know, with her, she's helping her grandmother rehab and Trevor's there supporting her the entire time and just being like a good support system for her. So yeah, I'm really like I said, I'm really interested to see, you know, where they leave off. Like, are they still together? Are they married? Do they have kids? Like 3 years is a lot to get into it. But yeah, I think she's one of the ones that had like a lot of growth in the book. Probably in my opinion, the most positive growth that kind of happened quickly. And now we're going to get into Tiana. All right, so Tiana's story is I feel like it could have been a book by itself. Her joint is all over the place. All right, so Tiana is a psychiatrist, which is very ironic with you know everything else that's going on in her life. So she's dating Keisha. So Tiana's a lesbian. She's dating Keisha. I can't remember how long they've been together, but she's dating Keisha, and things are kind of going okay, I suppose. And then she starts cheating on Keisha with this girl named Madison. At first, like it was like she really likes Madison. It's like one of those things where you like keep someone around just in case, and then it kind of like goes too far, right? And so now she's cheating on Keisha with Madison. And now Keisha's like, you know, where have you been? She's lying. I had to work late. I had to be at this person's house. I was at that person's house. And she's just lying, right? We find out Keisha's friend sees him at Top Golf she sees uh, Tiana at Top Golf with Madison, all hugged up and cute up. And she's like, you don't think you know what you see? You don't really see what you see. And she's like, I know what the F I see. You know, da, da, da. Sends the pictures to Keisha. She gets back to the house and Keisha just whoops her ass, which is really sad actually because she ends up in a coma. like a medically induced coma. But Keisha beats the hell out of her. Like, just, it's wild, right? And so, like, she's in the hospital. At this point, you would assume we're broken up, right? You put your hands on me, put me in the hospital. I got my mom and my sister here. My friends are here. I'm laid up. I'm in a coma. We broken up, right? Nah, Keisha's at the house redecorating. I gotta get the things back ready for when she comes home. I want to go visit her. You want to go visit her, and so she tries to go up there to visit her. Madison's a nurse, of course, right? Madison's a nurse, so she's taking care of she's taking care of Tiana, making sure she's good or whatever. And they run into each other at the hospital. Now they fighting, and Keisha mama fighting Tiana's mom fighting with Keisha. Tiana's sister's fighting with Keisha. Everyone's trying to get, why is Keisha here? Is what people are trying to figure out, right? Mind you, she did cheat on her. So, like, it's everyone's at fault, right? And so she wakes up from the coma. She gets Keisha to move out. So Keisha moves out, and she, yeah. And then she starts like hanging out with Madison more. Madison's taking care of her. Madison's like doing this. But she has expressed to Madison that she doesn't want a relationship, that she's really trying to fix herself, that she's trying to like get better and be a better person. And how could she be a psychiatrist when she doesn't really know how to, like, well, she can't even fix herself. And then there's like a party. Was it a New Year's party? It's some party that happens, right? And Keisha shows up. And her and Keisha kiss. Madison doesn't catch it, right? Oh, it's her birthday party. That's what it was. It was Tiana's birthday party. And Keisha shows up. And then they kiss, which I don't even know. Right? But they kiss and they try to, like, I don't know, Madison doesn't realize, right? Madison doesn't catch them kissing. And at some point, Madison and Tiana have a conversation that she doesn't want to be like with her anymore, right? Because she's just trying to work on her, and that sets Madison off because she been laid up with her, she been taking care of her, they've been doing relationship stuff, and all of a sudden she cuts it off, and that is, oh no, that's not really where it ends. And so she goes back to talk to Keisha, right? And she's like trying to she's like doing like the 12 steps of, of like an addiction, right? She's going back and trying to make amends with people. She goes back to Keisha. She's like, oh no, I did you wrong or whatever. And Keisha's like, girl, I've been cheating on you the whole time. Which you kind of get the feeling that, because like Keisha would be like, she'll go to the gym and come back and immediately take a shower. Right. And she would like, Keisha would just like do little stuff, but like but Tiana was so wrapped up in Madison and so wrapped up in what she was doing, she was completely oblivious to the fact that Keisha was doing the same thing. Right. And so like that happens, right? And then she tries to like smooth things over with Madison, and Madison's like, I'm not going for it. And so like that's kind of like where that ends too. And through all that, like they're there for each other, they're holding each other accountable. I think Lauren was holding it was either Lauren or obviously it's either Lauren or Jace is holding like Tiana like accountable for like all the BS she's been putting people through. Like she's playing in Madison's face after Madison and took care of her, and like throughout the not only at the hospital but after the hospital too. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and they really do hold each other accountable. They're there for each other. When Lauren-Giselle's mom gets sick, I think one of them goes up there to New York to check on her and make sure she's good. And so like I think that's what really like ties it in together. Like even though they have each have individual storylines that kind of like take all kinds of directions, they all kind of come together to support one another, and to hold each other accountable, which I really appreciate in the book. And I think I'm really happy that the author like shared this book with me. I think it was well written, and I think I'm really excited for the next book that comes out. I gave it a 4.5 stars. There are sexy scenes in it, you know what I'm saying, for those who like that. But yeah, I thought it was really dope. I gave it 4 chili peppers as well. Yeah, I think you guys should read it. I think if you like, I'm starting to like books that have more complex relationship dynamics, if you will. Because I think like there's a lot of books that are like really like sweet the whole entire time. I think it's cute that some of them are sweet the entire time. I think sometimes the drama that happens in the book doesn't always feel like realistic. I suppose. And so like this one felt more realistic. This one felt more authentic to people of this age range. I think sometimes I read books and like they'll tell me that people are like in their late 20s, right? But they're acting like children. You know what I'm saying? I think this one you could tell like the author is like in that age range. And so like a lot of the conversations, a lot of decisions that get made, a lot of the way people move in this book is very representative of the actual age of the people who are in the book. And I think that was something that you don't really, that I personally don't get a lot. And so I really like appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Until next time. Peace.